Hey guys, welcome to a very special episode of the Sean Show, the long-awaited Astrology with Sean. I've mentioned before on this channel that I've always been interested in astrology. And for the past 2 years, I have been doing a deep dive and doing a lot of research on my own. I've been on my own little spiritual journey, but we'll get more into that later. And today I'm here to teach you guys what I have learned. Whether you guys are looking for pointers on how to start your own spiritual journey or you just want to know what everyone's talking about on Twitter, this is the video for you. I'm mostly trying to give little astrology hacks that make it easier to understand both your own birth chart and if you want to help explain a friend's birth chart and what the planets mean when they're moving through a certain position. By the way, I will not be offended if you guys want to fact check me in the comments down below. In fact, I welcome all constructive criticism. I am here to learn as well. I am still learning, so I own that. I encourage it. Mostly today we will be talking about the basics of reading a birth chart, explaining the houses, the zodiacs, the planets. My goal is to provide you guys the tools to be able to make your own interpretations, which I personally feel was a very important part of my own journey, you know? Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my socials. So now, without much further ado, let's just get started. There are 12 signs and they each have particular characteristics associated with them. Your sun sign, based off the location of the sun at the time of your birth. But you are more than just your sun sign. There are a lot more planets that also influence aspects of your personality. Before I begin, I want you guys to be able to follow along. So a site I highly recommend to look up your birth chart would be Astrology. I will link it down below as well. Astro Cafe works great too, but I will be referencing Astrology for the majority of this video because it's my personal favorite. As you can see on this site, you put your information in right here and it will calculate a birth chart that looks something like this. And when you scroll down, you can read more detailed descriptions about each of those placements and what they mean. But obviously nobody has time to do all of that, and we're here for hacks. Oh, for reference, I will also be linking a Google document down below that will have all of the charts that I am currently referencing right now for you guys to be able to access. I made them all myself. If you guys are visual learners like me, I think and would appreciate a good chart, they will be available down there. There are 12 signs and 12 houses. Think of it like a compass in the sky. When you're born, all of the planets are at a certain position in space, right? And your birth chart is a screenshot of what the planets looked like at that time. According to astrology, the positions of these planets determines aspects of your personality, or it influences them rather. It can be difficult to remember what all 12 signs, what each of the characteristics are, so luckily they're broken up in several ways. The zodiac signs are grouped by both elements and also by whether they are classified as, I don't know what to call this category, but mutable, cardinal, or fixed. Mutable, cardinal, or fixed. Mutable signs are signs that are considered more adaptable to circumstances, flexible or sympathetic, more willing to change their mind. And these signs would be from the air signs, Gemini, from the earth signs, Virgo, from the water signs, Pisces, and from the fire signs, Sagittarius. The cardinal signs, reactors or the initiators, the ones that are always on to something new, the ones that would rather go on to the next thing than change their mind about it. These signs include from the air signs Libra, from the earth signs Capricorn, from the water signs Cancer, and from the fire signs Aries. The last category is the fixed signs. These signs are the ones that are stubborn or stabilizing. These ones are the ones that stay grounded and firm in their opinions. From air signs, this is Aquarius. From earth signs, Taurus. Water signs, Scorpio. Fire signs, Leo. So each of the houses are basically sections in the sky, so to speak. They proceed in a fixed order. The first house is ruled by Aries. Aries is the house of initiation, energy, bravery. I like to think of them as the frontline warriors that are down to just go in. They have that go-getter, jumpstart energy, heavily. And they stay very true to their morals. They believe in what they believe in. A good quote I chose, fight as if you are right, listen as if you are wrong. Carl Week, a Scorpio. I chose a bunch of quotes to represent the signs, and I just want to give a disclaimer. These quotes aren't necessarily said by the sign that I'm describing. I just personally felt, in my opinion, all of these are my opinion, by the way, all my interpretations of how I believe the signs are. Please do not get offended if I'm completely wrong or whatever. I'm just trying to give off, what I'm trying to explain is more so the energy that each of the signs gives off. You know, that's my goal to describe in my understanding. This is a fun video, by the way. Like, the second house is Taurus. Taurus is the house of comfort, pleasures, and securities. And the quote I chose for this one was said by my favorite Taurus, Audrey Hepburn. I believe every day you should have at least one exquisite moment. I think that perfectly encapsulates the vibe of Taurus people. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So Tauruses love things that are comfort and beautiful and like glamour, luxury, extravagant. Like, you know, all those things that resonates with Tauruses. But they also, like, they are very strong-willed. They are stubborn. They are in the fixed category. But being an earth sign, they're also pretty grounded. So not much can shake a Taurus, but like once you do piss off a Taurus, you can expect some, you know, a lot of energy. For the most part, Tauruses are just trying to chill. They're just trying to kick it. The third house is ruled by Gemini, and this is the house of communication, talking and thinking. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So that's why when Mercury retrogrades happen, the big issues that occur are often to do with communications being mixed up, miscommunications occurring, stuff like that, you know. The quote I chose for Gemini was, "The mark of an educated mind is to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it." Aristotle. There's an airplane going by. Wow, while I'm talking about air signs. I'm gonna say that quote again. The mark of an educated mind is to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Oh my God, I'm being so bad at saying these words. The mark of an educated mind is to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Aristotle in Aquarius. The fourth house is ruled by Cancer, of home, privacy, nurturing. Cancers aren't known to being like feeling really good at home. And I don't know about you guys, but personally, my Cancer friends get literally excited at the idea of being home. Like it's really adorable, honestly. I love Cancers, by the way. I'm a Capricorn, so Cancers are our sister signs. Cancers and Capricorns think kind of the same way, right? Except Cancers are going to say everything that Capricorns are feeling, and Capricorns are going to say what a Cancer is thinking, if that makes sense. Every time you're faced with something ugly, focus on something beautiful. What you focus on expands. Only you can change your reality. That was Ariana Grande, a Cancer. Fifth house is ruled by Leo. Leo is the house of self-expression, attention, fun. There is something inherently valuable about being a misfit. There is definitely a value for identifying yourself differently and being proud that you are different, said Daniel Radcliffe, a Leo. And I think that quote perfectly encapsulates Leo attitude very much so, because they love saying that they're different. If it's one thing a Leo's gonna do is let you know that they're Leo. The sixth house is ruled by Virgo, the house of service, health, organization. This is caring about the general good. I know Virgos to be quite workaholics, to be honest, are very about their business. Like they say Capricorns are about their business, Virgos are about their business. They can be much stricter on themselves than Capricorns can. They can be harder on themselves, but therefore that's why they like reap the rewards that they do. When I'm not feeling my best, I ask myself, what are you gonna do about it? I use the negativity to fuel the transformation into a better me. Beyonce, a Virgo. And I think that says it all. Like, talk about working hard, right? The seventh house is ruled by Libra. This is the house of relationships and interpersonal like contracts and that type of communication, like your close relationships. Sophisticated ignorance. I write my curses in cursive. Kanye West, a Gemini. Also an air sign though. I don't know. I have a lot of Libras in my life, so I have a lot of opinions about Libras, so I will try not to get crucified by the Libra community on the internet. But I truly see Libras can tolerate a lot of bullshit, for sure. But when they pop off, they will do it in the most eloquent manner. Like, they will destroy you in the most beautiful way for sure. The sophisticated ignorance part, they absolutely choose the ignorance, and that is just a power I wish I had, honestly. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, and this is the house of death and changes and beginnings and endings and the cycles of life, the mysteries, the transformations, the occult, things of that nature. We make our world significant by the courage of our questions and by the depth of our answers. Carl Sagan as Scorpio. Scorpios are known to be mysterious and elusive, and honestly, I think it's just because they feel like they don't need to tell you. Purposefully selective, you know, is what makes them come off mysterious. I think it's beautiful. I think it's powerful. The 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius. This is the house of travel, exploration, expanding the mind, knowledge, all of that. Wisdom sits in places, was said by Keith H. Baso of Pisces. And I feel like most Sagittarians I know really encapsulate that. Usually very worldly, eccentric people, like very aware that there are different perspectives in the world and all of that. I find Sagittarians to be some of the most inspiring people I know. The 10th house is ruled by Capricorn. Me. This is the house of structures, traditions, and public image. One of my favorite Capricorns, Jim Carrey, said, "As far as I can tell, it's just about letting the universe know what you want and then working towards it while letting go of how it comes to pass." He also once said, "I wake up some mornings and sit and have my coffee and look out my beautiful garden and I go, remember how good this is, because you can lose it." And I love both of these quotes because the first one, I feel like it really captures the determination that Capricorns have inside, that we really truly do feel like if we work hard enough, we can do anything, because I don't know, that's how our brains work. And the second part is literally the other side of, even though we are very aware that we can work towards anything, or we think we can at least, we are also aware, or some would say paranoid, that we can lose it all at once too. We're just being realistic. The 11th house is ruled by Aquarius. Aquarius rules society, humanitarianism, and networking, thinking about the global good. What help does the whole world really need? Like, what will help all of us right now? Like, what's the bigger issue here type energy? And the quote that I think captures this by my good friend Andrew Brown, Aquarius: "Weather's great today, hope the climate's changing." And I feel like this really captures how Aquarians will acknowledge the present and then also the larger thing. That I find this extraordinary in all my Aquarian friends' ability to do this, because my brain doesn't just naturally go there, honestly. Like, as a Capricorn, we stay pretty boxed into our little boxes we build for ourselves. An Aquarian's mind is an open space, and that's ever expanding, and I think that's the best way I could put it. To take this energy to the next, and I guess last highest level, the 12th house is ruled by Pisces. Pisces rules over endings, imagination, and daydreaming, creativity, like things that don't necessarily exist or could. That whole concept, the whole doubt, the type of energy that births new art. I was asking my friends for their favorite quotes while I was doing this, and one of my Pisces friends said her favorite quote was by John Green, a Virgo: "I go to seek a great perhaps. Having the faith that it does exist is what Pisces energy is, and it's beautiful." A phrase you might hear in the astrology community often is the big three. This refers to your sun, moon, and rising. In astrology, the planets influence different aspects of your personality. For example, if Venus was traveling through Sagittarius, as mine was, you would go about things related to the Venus category, ruling over love, relationships, all of that, in a very Sagittarius-like way. Like I said earlier in this video, the sun is not your only important aspect. There are several important aspects, and I will be going through them all in this video. The sun, which transits every month, influences your ego, personality, consciousness, and your general overall energy. The moon transits every 2 to 3 days. The moon rules over your emotions, your inner self, how you truly feel about things, your habits. Mercury transits every 3 to 4 weeks. Mercury rules over communication, intellect, and reasoning. Gemini and Virgo are Mercury ruled. Those signs have very distinct ways of going about communication. Venus transits every 4 to 5 weeks, and it rules over attraction, love, beauty, and art. Libra and Taurus are both Venus ruled, so that's why those are the aspects that would tend to be more intrigued by luxurious things. Mars transits every 6 to 7 weeks, and it rules over aggression, action, and courage. It's like the planet of like how you kickstart things. It's really Aries energy. And Mars is ruled by Aries. Jupiter transits every 12 to 13 months. Jupiter is the planet of luck, growth, and expansion. Optimism, how you go about seeing the brighter side of things. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Saturn transits every 2 to 3 years. Saturn is the planet of structures, laws, restrictions, and it is obviously rules over Capricorn. Saturn is basically how you go about the rules, what rules do you abide by? Uranus transits every 7 years, and it's the planet of eccentricity, randomness, unpredictability, big drastic changes, reforms, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Neptune transits every 10 to 12 years. It's the planet that rules over dreams and imagination and intuition, those things. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. These last 4 aspects are not actual planets, but rather calculations based off the position of the rest of the planets in your birth chart. This include your rising or your ascendant, the descendant, which is directly correlated with it, your Lilith, and your nodes. Your Lilith placement does not transit. It's calculated by a sum of the rest of your other placements. It represents your dark side, how you approach taboo things, how you behave in a social transgression. Your North Node represents essentially your spiritual direction. I'm a Capricorn. My North Node is Libra. So since Libra is like the complete opposite of Capricorn, my spiritual direction encapsulate the qualities that are the complete opposite of myself, if that makes sense. Not everyone's nodes are direct opposites of their sun signs. I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. Mine so happens to be that. When I started looking more into this, obviously my life was probably not doing so great because I was looking into astrology, but that was definitely a thing that really helped guide my decision making from that point. You know what? Maybe the way I've been doing things hasn't worked out for me so far. Maybe I should try doing things a different way. And honestly, I think it's been going pretty well. So far, I acknowledge life is a forever growing process, and I am excited to be a forever learner, okay? Your rising could change hourly, so this is why your birth time is very important. And your rising is basically how you come off, how you, when you meet a new person, what's their first impression of you? That's usually your rising sign, not your sun sign. And I've also seen this recently on Twitter, so I don't know the validity of this statement, but I've read actually from multiple sources that it is better to read your horoscope for your rising rather than your sun sign if you want those readings to be accurate. Obviously, this is different depending on different readers, but in general, that might be something to think about. For me, my rising is a Virgo, so usually earth sign horoscopes are kind of the same thing, different ways anyways. For the points of my life when I'm going through very emotional periods, then at those times I would look at my Scorpio moon horoscope, the water sign horoscope. And I definitely recommend you guys doing that as well when you guys are searching this up. I know it says apply your Venus and all of that, but I feel like at that point you're kind of just stretching for it to apply. My personal recommendation would be if you have a stellium in your birth chart, a stellium being a bunch of planets with the same or a bunch of aspects that have the same zodiac sign. So me, I have a Capricorn stellium. I have 5 or 6 planets in Capricorn. I can't remember. I definitely resonate with the Capricorn horoscopes heavily. I resonate with the earth sign horoscopes heavily. So those are the ones I stick with when I'm reading mine. You know what I mean? This is up to your discretion at this point. You guys got to take responsibility for your own spiritual journeys. That's step number 1. There you go. I gave you that for free. And lastly, your descendant. So your descendant is the opposite of the first impression, actually. Your descendant is how people think of you after a while. but you may not necessarily see yourself in this way. I think that's very important because me finding out I had a Pisces descendant was shocking news to me. Like, I love Pisces, mind you. I know Rihanna is a Pisces. I have many friends that are Pisces. It determines the type of people you connect with as well, most importantly. Because that's what it really means in the long run, right? Like the friends that stick around in the long run, the ones that like what they see after the first impression. I think it's the opposite sign of your rising, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. I just think it's a really funny thing about astrology. A lot of it is opposites. Like I said, when I started my spiritual journey, a lot of it was pointing to I had to get comfortable with doing things that were like the opposite of what I was used to. Like, not like in the sense that like, oh, I'm gonna have to do completely different things. It's more like when like faced with a decision. If I were to be at a point of life where I were faced with a decision and there was a comfortable option that was very easy, or a difficult option that I knew was also the right option and a better option in some cases, but was more difficult, I became more inclined to choose that option, you know? And I feel like it's been tough, but I feel like it's been paying off as well. And even if it doesn't pay off, like, you know, in a monetary sense or like clout or whatever, you know, in a traditional sense of success, there's a satisfaction on the inside of just knowing that you did something that was hard. That, I don't know, maybe this is the competitive Capricorn in me talking, but it's a good feeling, you know? It's a good feeling to just know that you learned something or grew today. By the way, I promise these are fake. Do not get mad at me, Mom. But yeah, that about wraps it up for the Zodiac video. This is actually gonna be part 1 in a series that we will be having on this channel. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys were able to learn something new with me today. And thank you so much for hanging out with me. And if you guys like this type of content, please subscribe. I will be posting more and, you know, hopefully be getting better as well. We are always striving to be better on this channel here. And leave any thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you next time.